There's a lot of pressure on how to end this, and fans wanted to know what was going to happen, so it was tough, and I think that they did it.
There was enormous pressure on how this legendary show would end because fans around the world wanted to know what would happen to these characters they had grown up with for over a decade, and when the final episode aired, many agreed the creators delivered something truly special. But the story didn't stop there, because while The Big Bang Theory wrapped up in 2019, the cast members didn't disappear. Instead, they went on to build fascinating careers and lives in very different and unexpected directions. You already know Sheldon, Leonard, Penny, Amy, Raj, Howard, and Bernadette, but have you ever stopped to wonder where the actors behind these iconic roles are now? Some pursued massive Hollywood success, others explored quieter creative paths, and a few completely reinvented themselves. If you think you know everything about the cast, think again, because their journeys after the show might surprise you. Let's dive right in. Jim Parsons became a global icon thanks to his unforgettable portrayal of Sheldon Cooper, a role that earned him multiple awards and cemented his place in television history. But once the show ended, Jim showed he had no interest in being defined by just one character. He quickly moved into challenging dramatic roles, proving his incredible range. One of his most talked about performances came in a major streaming drama where he stepped into the role of a powerful Hollywood executive far removed from Sheldon's quirks. Audiences praised his depth and transformation, showing a whole new side of his talent beyond live action. He also found success in animation, lending his voice to multiple projects which allowed him to experiment creatively while continuing to reach new audiences. Jim didn't stop there. He returned to the stage in a celebrated Broadway production that later became a streaming hit, once again earning acclaim for his emotional honesty behind the scenes. He stepped into producing, helping bring meaningful stories to life, particularly those focused on representation and personal growth off-camera. Jim has embraced a more open and authentic life, becoming a strong advocate for equality and using his platform to support causes close to his heart. Today, he continues to balance acting, producing, and theater with ease, and it's clear his journey is far from over. Johnny Galecki spent 12 years bringing Leonard to life, and while he stepped away from the spotlight more quietly than some of his co-stars, he never truly left the industry. Fans were delighted when he briefly returned to the Big Bang universe through appearances in the spin-off series, giving audiences a nostalgic connection to the original show. Beyond that, he explored new sitcom roles, allowing him to play more mature and layered characters, showing growth both personally and professionally. He also shifted focus behind the camera, launching his own production company where he could develop stories that pushed creative boundaries. While Johnny keeps his personal life largely private, he's known for maintaining strong friendships with former cast members and dedicating time to causes he deeply cares about, especially environmental conservation. His thoughtful approach to fame and storytelling continues to shape a steady and meaningful career. Kaylee Cuoco experienced one of the most dramatic post-show transformations after years of playing Penny. She completely redefined herself with a bold and intense role in a hit streaming series where she portrayed a complex, emotionally driven character. The performance stunned audiences and critics alike, earning her major awards and proving she was far more than a sitcom star. This project also marked her rise as a producer through her own company where she focuses on powerful character-driven stories, especially those centered on women. Her influence in television has grown rapidly, and she continues to develop new projects that challenge expectations outside of work. She has spoken openly about mental health, self-growth, and resilience, using her platform to encourage honesty and balance. Her journey after The Big Bang Theory has been one of reinvention, strength, and creative freedom, and she shows no signs of slowing down. Simon Helberg, known for his hilarious portrayal of Howard, surprised many by stepping into more artistic and dramatic territory. After the show ended, he took on roles that showcased emotional depth far beyond comedy, earning praise for performances in visually bold and experimental projects. He also moved behind the camera, exploring directing and storytelling in new ways, revealing a passion for filmmaking that many fans didn't expect. Despite his success, Simon keeps his personal life grounded, focusing on family and creative fulfillment. His career path reflects a desire to grow quietly while still taking bold artistic risks. Kunal Nair charmed audiences for years as Raj, and after the show he embraced a wide range of creative opportunities from voice work in animated films to appearances in critically praised television series. He also stepped into more serious dramatic roles, showing a powerful shift in tone that expanded his range beyond comedy away from the screen. Kunal found success as a writer, sharing his life story and experiences in a best-selling book that resonated deeply with readers. He continues to explore storytelling in multiple forms while maintaining a balanced and private personal life. His career today reflects confidence, versatility, and a willingness to evolve. Although The Big Bang Theory came to an end, the stars who brought it to life are still writing exciting new chapters through acting, producing, writing, and creative exploration. Their journeys remind us that these actors were never just their characters, and as they continue to grow and surprise audiences, one thing is certain: their story didn't end with the final episode, it only began, and fans around the world will be watching every step of the way. Whose journeys deserve the spotlight because their growth after the show has been just as impressive, and in some ways even more unexpected. Mayim Bialik and Melissa Rauch brought heart, intelligence, and depth to The Big Bang Theory, and once the series ended, both women stepped into powerful new chapters that proved their talents went far beyond sitcom success. Mayim Bialik became a fan favorite as Amy Farrah Fowler, transforming what began as an awkward, socially reserved character into one of the most emotionally grounded and beloved figures on the show. But Mayim's life off-screen has always been just as fascinating as her on-screen work. After the series ended, she seamlessly balanced acting, hosting, writing, and advocacy, showing that she is truly a multi-talented force. She took on a leading role in a successful primetime sitcom where she played a neuroscience professor navigating family life and career challenges, a role that felt personal, authentic, and deeply relatable to audiences. At the same time, she stepped into the world of television hosting, becoming the face of one of the most iconic game shows in history. Her warm intelligence and natural charisma made her a standout and introduced her to an entirely new generation of viewers beyond television. Mayim is also an accomplished author and speaker, openly discussing science, education, mental wellness, and personal growth. She has used her platform to promote thoughtful conversations, encourage curiosity, and empower people to embrace who they are. Her journey after The Big Bang Theory has been about purpose, balance, and impact, and she continues to inspire far beyond the screen. Melissa Rauch brought endless charm and surprising emotional depth to Bernadette, a character whose sweet voice masked a powerful, confident personality. After the show concluded, Melissa took a more selective approach to her career, focusing on projects that allowed her creative control and meaningful storytelling. She starred in and co-wrote an independent film that showcased her ability to lead a story with emotional honesty and heart, proving she was far more than comic relief. She also continued voice acting, bringing animated characters to life with the same energy that fans loved on television. Behind the scenes, Melissa has expressed a strong passion for storytelling that highlights resilience and individuality while keeping her personal life grounded and private. She has prioritized family, creativity, and balance, choosing quality over constant visibility. Her path reflects confidence in knowing when to step forward and when to focus on what matters most. Together, these final two cast members complete the picture of how The Big Bang Theory didn't just launch successful careers, it helped shape artists who continue to grow, evolve, and influence in unique ways. Each cast member took a different road after the finale. Some moved into dramatic territory, others into producing, directing, hosting, or writing, but what connects them all is the courage to move forward without relying on past success. The Big Bang Theory may have ended years ago, but its impact lives on through the people who brought it to life, and as fans continue to revisit the show, it's incredible to see how far each star has come, from massive award wins to personal reinvention and creative freedom. Their stories prove that endings can also be beginnings, and this cast is still very much in their prime. So if you ever wondered where the stars of The Big Bang Theory are now, the answer is simple: they're still shining, just in ways no one expected. Even years after the final episode aired, the legacy of The Big Bang Theory continues to grow in ways few shows ever managed to achieve, because this series wasn't just about jokes or science references, it was about connection, growth, friendship, and finding belonging in a world that doesn't always understand you, and that's why fans continue to return to it again and again across streaming platforms, reruns, and social media discussions. The show has become a comfort space for millions, and the cast members remain deeply connected to that legacy whether they appear on screen together or not. One of the most fascinating aspects of life after The Big Bang Theory is how the cast has remained linked through shared history even as they pursue completely different paths. They often speak about the show not just as a job, but as a defining chapter of their lives, something that shaped their values, work ethic, and creative confidence. Many of them entered the series early in their careers and left as industry powerhouses, yet despite that growth there is a clear sense of gratitude whenever they reflect on those 12 years together. Fans have noticed how the cast still supports each other from afar, whether it's public congratulations for new projects, subtle references in interviews, or heartfelt tributes on anniversaries. There's an unspoken bond that hasn't faded, and that sense of authenticity is part of what keeps audiences emotionally invested. The show didn't just create fictional friendships, it built real ones, and that energy continues to resonate. Beyond the cast themselves, The Big Bang Theory has had a massive cultural impact that continues long after its conclusion. Phrases, mannerisms, and character traits are still referenced in everyday conversation, memes, and online content. Younger audiences, who were children or not even born when the show premiered, are now discovering it for the first time and finding the same joy longtime fans did, which speaks to how timeless the humor and heart truly are. The themes of social anxiety, ambition, love, and personal growth are universal, and the show handled them in a way that was accessible without ever losing intelligence. Another reason the show's influence remains strong is because it made intelligence feel approachable. It celebrated curiosity and passion, whether that passion was science, pop culture, gaming, or relationships, and it reminded viewers that being different wasn't something to hide, but something to embrace. That message has only become more relevant over time, especially as conversations around identity, self-acceptance, and mental wellness continue to evolve. The characters didn't start as perfect people, but they learned, grew, and changed, and that journey mirrors real life in a powerful way. The writers and creators also deserve recognition for how they allowed the characters to evolve naturally over 12 seasons. Relationships changed, priorities shifted, and personal growth was earned, not rushed. That long-form storytelling is rare, and it gave actors the space to explore depth beyond surface-level comedy, which in turn prepared them for the complex roles they would later take on after the show ended. As the entertainment industry itself has changed with the rise of streaming, social media, and global audiences, the cast of The Big Bang Theory has adapted right along with it. Some have embraced digital platforms to connect directly with fans, others have focused on behind-the-scenes work, shaping stories rather than starring in them, and some have deliberately stepped back, choosing a quieter, more intentional life. Each choice reflects a different definition of success, and that diversity is part of what makes their post-show journeys so compelling. The fandom itself has also evolved. Conventions, online communities, and fan-driven content continue to keep the spirit of the show alive. People share how the series helped them through difficult times, inspired academic interests, or simply made them feel less alone, and the cast frequently acknowledges these stories, which creates a powerful loop of gratitude between creators and audience. That mutual respect is rare and deeply meaningful. Another interesting aspect of the show's lasting presence is how it continues to introduce viewers to careers and interests they may never have explored. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics became less intimidating because they were presented through humor and humanity. The show didn't talk down to its audience, instead it trusted viewers to keep up, and that trust built loyalty. Many fans have credited the series with sparking their interest in learning or encouraging them to pursue paths they once thought were out of reach. As years go by, discussions around the show have also become more nuanced. People revisit episodes with fresh perspectives, noticing layers they may have missed before. Character arcs feel different when viewed through the lens of time and experience, and that rewatch value is one of the strongest indicators of a show's staying power. The Big Bang Theory invites reflection, laughter, and comfort in equal measure, which is why it continues to thrive long after its final bow. The cast members have also spoken about how stepping away from such an intense, long-running project required adjustment. When something defines your schedule, identity, and creative outlet for over a decade, moving on is both exciting and challenging, but each of them navigated that transition in a way that honored their personal needs. Some leaned into creativity, some into family, some into advocacy, and some into exploring entirely new skill sets. What unites them is the courage to evolve rather than remain frozen in a role that once brought massive success. There is also something deeply satisfying for fans in seeing the actors succeed on their own terms. It reinforces the idea that the show was a foundation, not a limitation, and that success doesn't have to look the same for everyone. Whether it's award recognition, personal fulfillment, creative control, or balance, each cast member defines achievement differently, and that diversity of outcomes makes their stories even more relatable. Even today, interviews about new projects often circle back to The Big Bang Theory, not because the cast is stuck in the past, but because that chapter continues to shape public perception and personal pride, and instead of resisting that association, most of them embrace it. They recognize the gift that show gave them and the responsibility that comes with being part of something that mattered so much to so many people. As time moves forward, the likelihood of a full reunion remains a topic of speculation and excitement among fans, but regardless of whether that ever happens, the impact has already been sealed. The show lives on through its episodes, its influence, and the lives it touched, and perhaps the most remarkable thing of all is that even after hundreds of episodes, millions of viewers, and countless rewatches, the heart of The Big Bang Theory still feels genuine. It reminds us that friendship can be built in unexpected places, that growth is rarely linear, and that being yourself, even when it feels awkward or misunderstood, can eventually lead to connection and joy. The cast carried those messages beyond the soundstage and into their own lives and careers, and in doing so they ensured that the spirit of the show didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. So when people ask where the stars of The Big Bang Theory are now, the answer isn't just a list of projects or accomplishments. It's a story of evolution, resilience, creativity, and purpose. They are building meaningful lives both in and out of the spotlight, continuing to inspire, entertain, and connect in new ways, and that ongoing journey is what truly makes The Big Bang Theory timeless, because the story never really ended, it simply transformed.